there's really two things that define the modern world, and I would say in order they are uncertainty and complexity, and they're both related. Um, the 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 market economy is constantly solving for problems, but for every problem you solve on an institutional or societal level, you introduce a new degree of complexity. Something as simple as you can, right, use a spoon, make a spoon out of bronze or iron to make cooking and eating easier, but now all of a sudden you have this entire ore mining and refining infrastructure to worry about, and distribution and all these things. And these are things that invariably make life better. Of course, we love technology and we love seeing things made better. And this all the way up to you put a microchip set inside of your brand new family SUV, to solve for variable all-wheel drive, right? The software is constantly watching the tires to know when to kick in for extra traction to compensate whenever things get slippery. Um, and these are great. It introduces a lot of complexity, and that relates to the uncertainty where the problems that are getting solved are in one sector and then in another sector, and then it follows the whole way down the chain, until you get to the ultimate sector, which is that you have to make as much money as possible so that the the capitalist class can immediately point all of the profits into solving a new problem. Um, it makes me wonder if we're at, or how far past the point we are in some of these spaces where we're solving problems that people are better off having to figure out how to do on their own. Um, everybody talks about drive and stick, right? Can you drive a stick? Can you drive manual transmission? Um, I I learned how to, like, 21 years ago. I learned how to do it on an old truck. Um, but if you get standard transmission in America anymore, it's either a beater, cheaper car, or it's ancient, or it's a performance vehicle, and it's just not really viable to even want to take on that inconvenience in America anymore. Um, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but the modern world is weird, and you're always losing your job and looking for a new job, and market conditions change, um, and it's all in pursuit of solving increasingly complex problems that at, we're past the point of some of them not being in our net interest in solving at a societal level. A follow up thought on the problem solving and uncertainty situation of the modern world. Take something like cooking, where you go from having to build the fire to you have the fire in your home with gas to you have a stove and an oven and it's easy to operate, right? Um, you go from hunting every animal to farming every animal to now you just buy them at the store, and now you can buy them processed at the store, right? Modern supermarkets, you buy, you don't even, there's no reason to know that it's an animal, right? You have to teach your kids that this thing you buy at the store, this chicken came from these things we see over here, on TV or just out in the country or wherever you are. Um, but at some point, it is bad if we're solving problems to the point that you no longer need to have skill to solve them on your own. Take the solving the complexity of acquiring food problem taken to its logical extreme as, something like DoorDash, or like the Grubhub or DoorDash services where you can just type food into your phone and then it shows up. A stranger delivers it to your house. Strangers prepare it and then a stranger delivers it to your house. And then maybe something that's been around a lot longer would be like the microwave meals, right? You poke the hole in the plastic. These aren't as popular anymore, but I'm sure a lot of people still eat them. Poke a hole in the plastic, and then you can have a meal. Of course, I'm not saying that you should never eat these things, but it is possible to eat these things in perpetuity and never learn how to cook. And I think that if we're in a society that's cultivating where most people never really need to learn how to cook to survive, at least to cook basic things, we're we're not actually improving society. We're making it more convenient and worse. Um, yeah, even whenever I was a bachelor, right? I could fry chicken and broccoli. I could fry steak strips, cut up cheap steak like sirloin steak and cut it up and fry it. Eggs, just eat crazy eggs all the time. Um, Not to say that I didn't take shortcuts eating whenever I had to or whenever I just felt like it. Um, but some people never learn how to cook, and by extension, they don't know what healthy eating is. So then, like I said in a previous video, those people become very expensive to take care of. Um, and at some point, you say, "Oh, well, that's capitalism, and that's a market economy, and that's freedom." But if you were growing up in a paradigm where DoorDash and Grubhub and all these things are advertised and made extremely aware to you, but like how to fry an egg in bacon grease, right? Or how to just, boil noodles and stuff like that is that's knowledge you actually have to seek out now, which is crazy. And a lot of people aren't even learning it from their parents anymore due to the family crisis, which I'll talk about later.